Hey everyone, I want to go over a few things, particularly about the essay assignment that's due. So you've already had a week to look at it. So I'm going to go over a couple things just so make sure you're on the right track. Let me share my screen and we'll get going. We're going to talk about the essay assignment. Summary and critical analysis. One of the things I mentioned is to be sure and read all of the instructions carefully because there's a lot there and you need to be sure you scroll down. So, of course, you're summarizing one of the two essays, How Immigrants Become Other or The New Jim Crow. The summary is the objective part, and then the analysis is, thinking critically about the ideas that the authors are expressing. A couple things I want to point out. The biggest mistake writers make when doing this is retelling the essay. You don't want to do that. And then make sure in the first couple sentences that you give the author's name, the article title, and the author's main argument in your own words. That's your thesis statement. So your thesis for this essay is whatever you say the author's main point is. That is your thesis statement. The thing I want to focus on down here is the additional requirements, and sometimes this gets lost. So your essay has to be uploaded in Word, not Google Docs. It needs to be a Word document. So if you don't have Word, you need to set up your account with Microsoft Office 365, which is free through the school, and the links are over here. It has to be in MLA format. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Use academic voice. So do not use I, do not use you, do not use we. When you say we, you typically mean something more specific like Americans or students or people. So think about that. Read the lecture on academic voice if you're confused about what language to use. When you refer to the author, use their full name the first time, and then after that, use only their last name. Do not refer to the author by their first name only. It's a matter of respect to use their last name. Use present tense. So the author argues, not the author argued. A minimum of 2 quotes from the author, no more than 5, and then correctly document the citations according to MLA guidelines. And then I want to show the grading rubric. I think a lot of times students don't look at the grading rubric, but knowing where points are going to be assigned is so helpful. Your thesis, a clear thesis is worth 10 points. An arguable thesis, a thesis that fits the criteria. Paragraph development and analysis, that's 20 points. Sentence mechanics is 20 points. And this changes with every essay. So you want to be sure that you check that out because these will change. Language, this is, am I putting a lot of contractions in the paper? Am I using I or you? You'll lose points for not using academic language here. Okay, so those are the main things. And then I also want to point out there were 10 extra points if you went to the Writing Center. I don't know how many of you looked at that, but there was extra credit opportunity there. You may still have time to go. You can go to the Writing Center virtually. And then I just want to show you the sample. It's in a PDF document. So this is smaller. However, if you just look at it aesthetically, this is what your essay should look like for MLA format. You have your last name and the page number in the upper right-hand corner, standard double spacing throughout the essay. You don't have extra spacing from the date to the title. The title is not essay 1 or summary of the new Jim Crow. Give your essay its own title. And then read the annotations. What is important about this essay? Well, they start out with one of the techniques that we've talked about in class. They give the credentials of the author, things like that. So read the annotations thoroughly so you know what's important. Some of it's regarding MLA format, and some of it is regarding the critical analysis part. And I think students do find this very, very helpful. In the modules, under your MLA resources page, you have MLA information. The Purdue OWL gives so many resources on MLA format. There's videos on in-text citations. Make sure you don't drop your quotes. Remember, dropped quotes, a quote is never a standalone sentence. So you want to make sure that you read how to do that. There's formatting a works cited page. This is an MLA sample. There's even a downloadable template. So if you want to just click on this and then download this sample and then put in your own information, throw in, cut, not cut and paste, but download this and then, put in your name and stuff, you can do that. I try to give you as many resources as possible. Other than that, if you have any questions about the essay, be sure and let me know. And hopefully, I just kind of wanted to go over some of the key points that I often see students miss and which can affect your grade. So let me know if you have any questions and I will talk to you later.